Hey guys, so we are going to be making a tier list for Plants vs Zombies. Now you're going to see a lot of ads, but that's just because of this is tier maker. So the tiers I set up are required, great, used often, certain circumstances, and almost never used. And this can also be used if it's actually never used. So we're just going to start in the order that you get the plants, and if I forget the order that you get the plants, then we'll just, So, pea shooter, this is going to be controversial. Great. It's not required, but it's great. And the reason for that is because the pea shooter, it doesn't deal that much damage, but it's still very useful. Because it shoots pretty fast. So the next plant you get is the sunflower. Where? I counted, there was 49 plants. Maybe I just can't find, okay. Here's the sunflower. This is required, and you guys are probably not surprised by that. It's required because you're literally gonna need the sunflower for most levels. Anyway, the next one that you get is, of course, it's Cherry Bomb. And Cherry Bomb is going to be used often. Because it's not great, but because it's really not resourced. It's really not cheap on your sun, but it's good sometimes, so it's used often. Now, the plant you get after that, I forget. I think it's Potato Mine, though. It's either Potato Mine or... we're just going to go with Potato Mine. Potato Mine, used often. Again, it's not usually used, but on some some levels, it's really useful. It's cheaper than the squash. Anyway... Let's see, what's the next one you get? I believe the next one you get is Snow Pea. Now, Snow Pea it's really expensive, and you'd think it would be, as good or above Pea Shooter, but it's really not used as often as Pea Shooter is used. But it's a good thing, but it's not used as much as Pea Shooter. And it's quite expensive for what it does, so I'm just going to put it in used often. Repeater, I'm going to put Repeater in great, because it's not required, but it's a really good weapon, and it's used often. It's used more often than the actual used often. In fact, I'm going to change this to used every so often. So, it sounds like it's the same as certain circumstances, but it's still above that. So, the one you get after Repeater is Chomper, I believe. And Chomper is also used it's great, but it's used every so often. So, can I, add a new tier or something? Okay, so that's not, I don't know how to make a new tier. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Okay, so you can just add a row below. So let's see. Use every so often. Great. I'm just going to add a row below. And it's going to be called good. So we're going to move Chomper. And, yeah. And it's Snow Pea. No, I think it's still used every so often. So the next plant you get is actually at night, I believe, which is the Puff Shroom. I'm not going out of order, am I? Yeah, these are all later plants. Yeah, I'm not going out of order. So the Puff Shroom is okay. So I'm not gonna make 2 rows for just that. So anyway, got these ads. Anyway, so Pushroom is great. Let's see. Okay, so the next plant you get is Sunshroom. Sunshroom is also great because during the night, like, you get so much sun from Sunshrooms. You don't start out getting a bunch of sun, but once you get more and they start growing, it's really good. The one you get after Sunshroom is... It's either Fume Shroom or Scary Shroom. It doesn't have to be in order, so I'll just do Fume Shroom. And this is sorted. Hold on, I know this is unrelated. This is sorted in alphabetical order. That's interesting. Why it's sorted in alphabetical order? So like, Bullover, Cabbage Pult, Cactus, Cattail, Cob Cannon, Coffee Bean, Doom Shroom, Flower Pot. Anyway, so yeah, the Fume Shroom, it's good. It's not great, but it's good. And the reason for that is it pierces, but like piercing isn't really used that often. I mean, like you can just like use a squash or walnut or a cherry bomb and it'll work the same way. So it's good, but I rarely use it. So the one that I know, Scared Shroom and Fume Shroom, they're related. So I'd say the Scared Shroom is good. It isn't great, but it's good because, and this is going to be controversial, I really think it should be almost never used, but the only bad part about it is that it will quiver when a zombie is within a tile, and if you just use a walnut or something in front of it, it's fine. I'd say it's good, but not great. The one that comes after Scared Shroom, I think that is Gravebuster. And the Gravebuster is used every so often. I mean, like, it busts graves, you get some money for it, but it's only used during the night levels, not even the fog levels, just the night levels, so it's really not that useful. Unless you're playing, not Stardew Valley. Unless you're playing Plants vs. Zombies Plus or something. Alright, so I don't remember, I think you get, Hypnoshroom next? Hypnoshroom is great. I mean, there isn't going to be many situations where that, I think I'm inclined to add a row that isn't required, but it's also extremely great, because not everything's required. Now, the next one, I think I forgot to explain, Hypnoshroom, it's really useful against zombies that are hard to take out, like footballs, because footballs, you're not fighting, football zombies are really hard to take out. They have so much health. But yeah. So I believe the one you get after that is Ice Shroom. And, Ice Shroom, it is used every so often. I wouldn't say that it's, like, good, great, extremely great, or required, because it's used every so often, you know, because sometimes you'll need to freeze some zombies, and you rarely even pick it. It's good during the day levels, though, when you have to use a coffee bean to activate it. Now, what is the one that's after Ice Shroom? Oh, right, Doom Shroom. Doom Shroom is... people are going to hate me for this, used every so often. It's good, but you don't... most people don't use it that much, even though it explodes like half the... maybe less than half the entire lawn, so it's pretty good. Now we're getting into the pool levels. So the first one you get for the pool levels is obviously Lily Pad required. It goes without saying, you need it. Until you get Sea Shroom, you need it for the water, unless you like get a bunch of Tingle Kelps and have like an imitator of it or something. But yeah. So the thing that comes after Lily Pad, obviously, that's I really did forget, didn't I? Let's just say it's Tingle Kelp. Tingle Kelp is also used every so often. It's good, but it's just not used that much. I'll be right back. Okay, let's see. So, we're just gonna do the pool levels. So obviously you get Tall Nut in the pool levels. And, Tall Nut, I'd say it's extremely great because it prevents things from going over it. So that's dolphins, pogo jumpers, pole vaulters, you know, all those. And also it's just extremely strong, so I'd say it's extremely great. Now, another weapon you get during the pool levels is obviously Threepeater, and I'm going to put that in extremely great because it does so much damage. It attacks in 3 different lanes. Now, a lot of people hate the Threepeater, but it attacks in 3 different lanes, so if you just had 2 of them in the pool levels or in the day levels, then you're able to cover the entire lawn. And sure, you only get 1 P per, but I mean, it's basically a Threepeater that takes up less space and also has a faster recharge time and expense of like 25 sun, which I feel is worth it. And it's usually only used during the day levels. Torchwood, I'd say is... I think you guys would get mad at me if I said required, but this is my own tier list. I think it's required because, like, for example, Coneheads, you need either Torchwood or, like, 2 pea shooters to kill it. It's so hard. So yeah, I think it's required. What comes after that? Let's see. I believe the thing that comes next is the... I really forgot what comes... Oh, yeah, Jalapeno. The Jalapeno is great. It's not used that often, but it's great. I mean, it's not good, but it's not extremely great. Because you can use it against Zombonis. It gets rid of the snow and all that. Let's see. So, then, the jalapeno, what comes after the jalapeno? I forgot walnut earlier, so we'll just do that. We're gonna have it as required because the walnut is like so useful. It's almost required for like for a lot of things. Like the tall nut isn't as good because you get it later. Walnut is like super important. Now, actually, what comes after, you get squash, obviously. So, squash, I'm gonna say, is extremely great. It's not required, but you know, it's really good. It kills multiple zombies that are grouped up together. It's really good. I just think it should come earlier because it's, I don't know, cherry bomb. It's like a cheaper cherry bomb that doesn't reach as far. So what comes after that? Oh, yeah, spikeweed, of course. Spikeweed, it's, I want to say it's great, but I think it's good. Like, it's used in a lot of situations. It also one-hits kills the Zombonis. So, I think it's good, just not great, or any of these. Plus, good is pretty, but it's pretty empty, but, you know, that's not how this tier list works. I believe after that you go into the fog levels. Oh, no, pumpkin. Wait, no, pumpkin is in the fog levels, right? Whatever, yeah. I just rate pumpkin. Pumpkin, I'd say, is extremely great. I know this is getting quite populated, but it's extremely great because a lot of the time you'll need to use pumpkin for, like, if you're trying to, like, make a good defense instead of having to, like, put tall nuts in front or something. And then cactus. Cactus is, like, It's used every so often. I don't even think it's used every so often. I feel like it's just certain circumstances, those certain circumstances being there are balloon zombies and you're gonna bring it instead of a pea shooter. I just really don't think the cactus is that good, like, for most things. Let's see. What comes after cactus? Oh, let's just say Magnitude. Magnitude is like, it's used every so often. I feel like it's good, but, like, also it's not even used that much, so. If there's, like, metal zombies or something, like football zombies, sometimes they'll bring it, but, yeah. Chem mushrooms are better. Sea shroom. I believe sea shroom is the first one you get in the fog levels. Literally almost never used. Like, it's just true. Like, it's never used. Like, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's almost never used. Anyway. Let's see. What comes after that? Planter. I'd say it's... Hold on a sec. I mean, Plantern, it's like, it's good, but it's not, I mean, it's not really even good. It's just, I'm having trouble, because I never see people use it, but I have a feeling that people do use it. I'm just gonna say almost never used. Then you get, the marigolds are in the, split pea. The split pea, I'd say certain circumstances, because if you have split pea, then sometimes you'll want it if, like, a zombie's getting too far. It's also used for digger zombies, but I feel like this starfruit is still better for that. So, yeah. Starfruit is... I guess it's used every so often. It's not like certain circumstances style. It's just like sometimes if you want to be able to kill like digger zombies and stuff, you'll use it. Or if you want like something for like every lane, it's okay. It's okay. This is also like an okay row, we'll say. Let's see, no, you don't get cattail during the, no, you buy gloom shroom. Oh, blower. Blower required. It's so good. Like, it blows away the fog, which the only other thing that can do that is Planter, which can easily die and only works for like 3 tiles. Blower, it's required. It's like, it's so good. It's so good. It also kills balloon zombies, which is only done by cattails and cactuses and blowers, of course. And yeah, I mean, you have cattails pretty often. You like never have cactuses. So yeah. Anyway, let's see. Okay, so I believe that the next things you get are from the shop, but we're just gonna do the main levels before we go to the shop. And the first thing that you get from the roof levels is obviously cabbage pulp. It's great, but it's almost never used. So I'm just gonna say certain circumstances, because kernel pulp is almost every single time. It's better. Because kernel pulps offer butter, and butter is amazing. Exotic butters is just amazing. So, alright, so my case. The next one you get is obviously flower pot, and I'm going to say required. It goes without saying, you need the flower pot to be able to, you need the flower pot to be on the roof levels. You need it. I mean, you don't need it as a, in your seed selection, but if there was no flower pot, you literally couldn't be the roof section, so it goes without saying. Then you get kernel pole, which is not required. It's extremely great. And actually, Torchwood required is literally 4 required plants. Like, not just like really good plants, it's for required plants. So I'm gonna move Torchwood down. Which would make me move Blover and Walnut down, but I'm still not doing that. But yeah, Kernel Pole is amazing. Exotic Butters. I believe then you start getting like Umbrella Leaf, all that. So we're gonna do Umbrella Leaf. Oh, I'm gonna say Umbrella Leaf is extremely great. It's not required technically. Actually, it's not technically required, but it's basically required. Because you need it for the bungee zombies, which suck. Coffee Bean, I'm gonna say, is also required. I know this is getting quite populated, but I mean, come on. How can you remove all the mushrooms from the day levels? Come on. Give them some slack. Garlic, I'm gonna say, is every so often. I mean, garlic is good, but it's only used every so often. It's not like the best plant ever. And so I think it's just used every so often. And then Marigold, Melonpolt are the only ones left. Marigold, I'm gonna say, is extremely great, but not required because it gives you money, but you don't technically need money, and so, but it gives you a lot of money, especially in the Zen Garden, if we're even counting that. Then the final one you get in story adventure mode is Melonpolt. I'm gonna say extremely great because it does splash damage, so it's like Nerf bombs, but it sends out multiple, and it only costs 300 sun, which is cheaper than a 3-peater, and it's definitely better than a 3-peater. Let's see. Now these are the ones you buy from the shop, which is exactly a... Is it not? I don't know. It doesn't really matter. Well, it should be 7, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, Cattail, I'm going to say, is extremely great because you need it for... Well, you don't need it, but it's really good during the pool and the fog levels because it literally homes and deals with balloon zombies. Just great. Cob Cannon, extremely great because it's so good. It explodes a 3 by probably more, but it's like a cherry bomb, but you get it multiple times. Sure, it costs 700 sun to set up. It's so good. It's so good. So yeah, extremely great. Yowling Pea, great. I mean, it's not used that much, but it's good. That's all I have to say, really. Gloom Shroom, it's great because, I mean, it's not extremely great, but it's great because, you know, it pierces and it can kill a zombie. It's great. It's good, it's just not extremely great. I'm gonna say certain circumstances because it's literally only used if you're trying to set up, like, a sun farm, a money farm. Imitator, I've never actually used Imitator. It's the only plant I don't have. Well, I don't have golden magnet either. I'm just gonna say it's great. I'm just gonna say it's extremely great because it removes, cuts in half the seed recharge time. Let's see, Twin Sunflower, I'm gonna say is extremely great because it's, I mean, it gives you a lot more sun. It gives you 50 sun instead of just 25. So we're ending off with with Spike Rock. Wintermelon, I'm gonna say, is extremely great because it splash damage, but also it freezes them, which is just really good. Spike Rock, I'm gonna say, is also extremely great because you use it when you're trying to make like a survival mode thing, and it just kills them, and then you can use like some Splippies. Anyway, that is the entire tier list. We're gonna do some filtering to make sure nothing is, like, poorly rated. So, yep. Golden Magnet, Split Pea, Cabbage Pult. I think Cabbage Pult can be, like, used. I don't know. I think it's good. It's just, I mean, it's not really good. Let's see, good. I think, yeah, I think these are fairly rated here. Well, actually, Spikeweed, I think it should be in great. Great. Repeater. Jalapeno. Yeah, I think these are well rated. Extremely Great, which is the most filled up one. Let's see. I can't really see any. I guess I know I said it was required. I think it's just good. I think it's just great because it's only used if you have a pea shooter, and I don't think that Torchwood should be above the only pea shooter. Well, there's 3 Peter, but whatever. I believe. Okay, so required. Yeah, I don't see any problems with that. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching. This was the Plants vs Zombies tier list. I'm gonna make other tier lists too. Like, there's a bunch of tier lists on Tier Maker. Like, there's like Mega Man, Robot Masters, and stuff. So I'll do all that. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.